When I first told him that I'm doing this, he's like, "Why are you doing my mistakes, son?"
You're like, okay, this isn't hard enough.
Yes, exactly.
How can I level this up?
People have divorced over renovations. For November, we closed our highest. December, we gave our salaries back.
Oh my God, we missed a bullet. Having a bad investor on board can kill your company faster than not having capital. If you're not an AI company today, you're going to be dead tomorrow.
Exactly.
As former associate partner at McKinsey & Company, Marc spent over a decade advising leading banks across the Middle East on credit, digital strategy, and growth.
He later joined AstraTech as Chief Business Officer, where he scaled financial services for the underbanked and grew the business into one of the UAE's largest remittance players.
Today at Reno, Middle East's first Renovate Now Pay Later platform, Marc is on a mission to transform the $40 billion renovation market
With a tech-powered platform that brings financing, transparency, and trust to homeowners, SMEs, and property managers across the region. In just over a year, Reno completed 110 plus units and generated $5 million plus in revenue.
If Reno just captures a small, very small market share, we can become a unicorn.
But we're building companies
Yeah.
at the worst possible time.
Exactly. Saudi isn't easy.
Welcome. MENA Means Business, and because you're watching this, I know so do you. My name is Meena Tariq, and I'm the CEO at Metric, where we've built a chief financial AI for business owners across emerging markets. The one thing that I have not experienced in my life so far is renovations. I've actually never been responsible for a large-scale renovation. But even I know, with the little bits of things that I've had to do or get done around the house, how painful renovations are and can be for most people. And this is a problem that the entrepreneur that we have with us today is solving for people across the UAE. Welcome, Marc.
Thank you, Mina. Thank you for having me.
So we know each other really well.
Yes.
This is going to be a fun conversation.
We've had our time on the stage together,
Yes.
like when we were in 500.
We've pitched together.
We've pitched together, and now we're in the same program.
We've
Hub
laughed
71.
together.
Yes.
We've ate together. We cried together. We've gone through our fundraising rounds together. We
Yes.
are in the same, we are portfolio peers of some VCs together.
Yes.
So this is going to be a fun conversation. I'm looking forward to this.
Me too.
But for our audience, walk us through your journey and why did you decide to start Reno?
Awesome. So I'm Egyptian born and raised. Grew up in an entrepreneurial family
Okay.
where I always looked up to my dad. So my definition of a job was never the 9 to 5.
Okay.
I would see my dad kind of always working, weekends, on work days, all the time he's working.
And you liked it?
I loved it. And I loved everything that came with it, both the growth, but also like the pains of it.
Yeah.
We kind of suffered when times were not great,
Yeah.
but we also like saw him kind of grow from a small car to a bigger car to getting his dream car over time. And I was like, okay, this is what I want to be. And
Yeah.
this was kind of, he was my role model. And this is kind of my journey and what shaped me as a person. So that was kind of me, like my
What was your
upbringing.
dad's business?
So he was doing water pumps. So he used to do desalination pumps.
Okay.
And he used to serve the government. It was more of like a trade
Yeah.
where he would import stuff,
Yeah.
do large government projects. Business was doing well, and he started as a sole founder. He took the business to places, and then, now he's retiring, and he's handed over the business to my brother.
Okay.
So that's kind of my story initially. Then I became an engineer, and like every engineer, decided not to take that path.
Yeah.
And moved to Dubai close to 10 years ago, where I joined McKinsey and decided to focus on banking.
Of course.
And
But that's a dream for so many people. You get
Yes.
into McKinsey, your life is made. But you decided to leave McKinsey.
yes, it was so interesting thing. I made a few crazy choices.
Okay.
So around the time where my wife got pregnant, I decided to leave McKinsey.
You're like, okay, this isn't hard enough.
Yes,
How can I level this up and make my, difficulty level a bit
Exactly.
higher for this game that I'm playing?
Exactly. So I wanted to kind of show my son that I can live up to my dreams and that I'm not scared to do that. And initially, I had met Amr, my second co-founder, and we were discussing like our renovations. So that was kind of initially what we planned to do. He was having his renovation here, it was very painful.
Yeah.
It started, he was also becoming a dad. So we timed our two kids together. Interesting. So he was becoming a dad. He had to move to a new apartment and he just had to make it his own, and he decided to do a renovation. The contractor promised him a 3-month project, ended up being a 9-month. He got into the home after the kid was delivered, and it was kind of a painful ordeal. I was also doing my apartment, or villa, sorry, back in Egypt. And we were kind of sitting together in a cafe. I'm like, the contractor is killing me. He's like, the contractor is killing me as well. So like, okay, let's put an end to this. And the initial days, we thought about building the Fiverr of home renovations, where we hold the money, we just ensure that the deliverables are being met. That was kind of early days. And
like a marketplace for
so that was kind of a marketplace
different sorts of contractors
with escrow account, where you kind of have the contractors, you vet them, you give them like verification, and then you manage both parties.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the initial idea, and I quit McKinsey actually to pursue that. But then Astra Tech came on the door knocking, and I was gonna become the chief business officer. So I told Amr, look, let's put a hold on our dreams for just another year, where I can, coming from consulting, most of my experience was advising people.
Yeah.
But it was never actually operational.
Yeah,
So
not the implementation
Not
piece.
the-
You're the advisor. You come in
yeah,
and tell
we
people how
come,
to do
tell
things
people,
better.
Even if we like are there to project manage, we are never like in the weeds. Like we're never
Not
managing
executing
the
yourself,
P&L, all of that. So I'm like, okay, give me a year. Let me test my operational capability and see what I can do. So at that time, I joined Astra Tech as chief business officer, where I was leading like different product teams in the fintech space, and I was responsible for monetizing Botem. So anything related to remittance, micro lending, all of that. So this was kind of my scale of scope of responsibility, and I took the business and really grew it to places, both the lending, the remittance, and the card business. Did a lot of great stuff, but then after 1 year, I was like,
I'm done with
it's
this.
time. And during this year, my wife and I were also looking into home ownership.
Yeah.
And the prices of the Dubai market was going really high. And so we were left with a couple of options. Either we go and buy in a new community, but then we have to pay a lot of money for much less value. Or we go to an older community, but then I have to pay the down payment for the mortgage and also the down payment for the renovation, typically 50 to 70%, which is a lot. So then we came together and we pivoted before we even started to focus on Renovate Now, Pay Later, where we enable customers to kind of pay over 12 months instead of the like huge upfront payment of 50 to 70%.
Yeah, and that's the exciting part. That's, I think, what excites me the most about your business, because it's the access to capital for people who might not be able to access that capital to be able to build a home of their dreams.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not just homes. Like we also focus on all kind of the segments that we enable are like SMEs, short-term rentals, and homeowners. And these are kind of the segments that I think are crucial for the economy. Like if you look at SMEs or middle-income expat families, these are people that are looking to make the UAE their home.
Yeah.
And these, I just saw like on the news that Sheikh Mohammed wants to have the UAE have 2 million SMEs in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
A lot of them will need office spaces.
Of course.
And they will need a huge upfront capex. So thus we kind of
which ends up becoming the
eliminate
hardest
the
part of
stress.
starting off, right?
Yes,
That capital that you need
exactly.
right at the start.
Exactly. Yeah.
And not just office spaces, I mean restaurants.
For sure, like retail places, anything where you kind of,
clinics.
exactly, where you turn the capex into opex and you fuel the growth through the revenue. This is kind of where we see us kind of fill the gap in the market. This on top of the project management, the vetted contractors, and the end-to-end process.
Yeah. And that is what Reno is.
Yes,
Yeah?
exactly. So this is what Reno is.
Where are you today with Reno?
So as of now, we launched our MVP in September. And we couldn't imagine like
This September 2025.
No, last
September.
So it's been 1 year since so I quit in March last year.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And in 1 year, we've done close to 120 projects.
Okay.
And just in the first 3 months, we crossed our first like $1 million revenue mark, which was really impressive
Wow.
for us. And it was kind of a moment to celebrate for all of the team. And I would say after 1 year, now we truly understand like all of the pains that everyone goes through because we've gone through them as a startup. We grew up with our customers from our MVP till now. Our product has evolved, our team has evolved, and our capabilities have evolved as well.
Yeah. And 100 plus projects in under 1 year is extremely, I mean, congratulations. That's
Thank you.
absolutely amazing. What is an aha moment for you in this last 1 year? What is something that you did not know about maybe this industry or sector or this business that came out and punched you in the face in the last 1 year?
Yeah. So and it goes back to what I was saying. When we were launching, we were focusing on my use case and my pain point,
Yeah.
and Amr's pain point, which is home ownership. And it was mostly about homeowners. But then as soon as we launched, one influencer that does short-term rentals,
Okay.
one of the most important influencers, reached out to us. He's like, can you fuel my growth?
Okay.
And can you take care of the renovation? And it wasn't a segment that we intended to serve, but it's kind of a segment where we found our product market fit instantly. And immediately, like we did with him, his first project. And the beauty of Reno is not just that you're paying over 12 months, but also because of what we offer, we're able to shorten the timeline, which is crucial for a short-term rental. So it's faster time to revenue, but also like you have the payments that you can pay over 12 months that you can then, we free up the capital so you can use it elsewhere.
Yeah.
So this combo is quite strong. So we're like, people come to ask us, are you a prop tech? Are you a fintech? And I always try to like avoid this question. I think
You're real estate fintech.
I think, yeah, or I would say we're like in the delight tech business. We make
Delight tech.
Yes.
Ooh.
we try to make people happy. So renovations is about renewal, is about like looking up for like the future. It's about making your space
It's about
your
upward mobility,
exactly.
right? It's about
All of that.
improving the quality of your life, whether you're doing it with your own home or your business.
Exactly. So it's all about that. And the unfortunate thing is, while it sounds all of that, the reality is quite different.
Yeah.
It's one of the most stressful things that you can do in your life. People have divorced over renovations. And so we would like to bring back the joy and we want people to actually look forward to the
Yeah.
renovation and not try to run
Not
from
run
it.
away. So are you also managing the contractor part though still?
We do. So we actually, our service is like a full package. I like to think of us as like the operating system in the renovation business. We do everything. So from design, value engineering, getting different bids from contractors, to the actual project management, we do all of that. Obviously, like the tech plays a big part, which enables us to do like 120 projects in a year. That's quite an impressive number versus like the average contractor. And we're able to do that with tech.
Yeah.
We're getting like daily updates. We have like AI tools that enables us to check the performance.
Yeah. So what
of
has
the
the tech building journey looked like for you? Because you also are not you're not a typical tech
yeah.
founder. Amr is not tech. Amr is
No.
sales and business and revenue.
Yes.
And
has
Farah
ops.
is ops. She's core operations.
Yes.
So you don't have a CTO.
We have a CTO.
Now you have
no,
a CTO.
we have a CTO.
Oh.
So a couple of things. So before doing McKinsey, I did SAP for 3 years.
Okay.
So I was and in McKinsey, I was doing a lot of like product management,
Okay.
digital transformations.
So you had product experience
So I had
already.
the product experience. So I know how to manage a product team. Initially we were like outsourcing this, but then we thought, okay, that definitely doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we have to bring.
So what can
all
you
of
talk
that
about
in.
a little bit of learning? Because the reason I'm asking this question is because for a lot of non-tech founders, getting the tech built out is so overwhelming. So
Yes.
were there any learnings that you want to share with people from
So
kind
I
of
think
that perspective?
anything I'll share in learnings now has shifted in 1 year because
Yeah.
the world is moving so fast with things like Lovable, all of these AI tools that enable you, like Cursor, all of these tools that enable you to prototype in a day.
Yeah. And test faster.
And test
much
much
yeah.
faster. Our experience was very different.
Yeah.
So when we started...
Back when we were building businesses, you had to do this by hand.
Exactly. So we were like, it took us 6 months to get to an MVP. Now you can like just write a prompt, and then within a week your product is ready.
Yeah.
And it would
even
be,
a week might be too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Within a night you should have something to show.
And now we're kind of shifting towards that. So all of like, I want AI to be embedded in our DNA, even if we don't pitch it. Like even if we don't pitch that we're an AI company, we're here. Like for us, AI is an enabler in terms of like the tech building, in terms of like the lead generation, the marketing, all of that. So
I think every company is an AI company today.
yes,
And
you have to.
You have to be. There is no, if you're not an AI company today, you're going to be dead tomorrow.
Exactly.
So whether you call yourself AI or not, I think every product in the roadmap is an AI piece or should be an AI piece.
It should be.
Why are you shying away from that though? Or are you shying away from that?
Honestly, we have a lot of strong beliefs.
Okay.
And
I know you, Mark. I know you have strong beliefs. Tell me all your strong beliefs.
so like we are more into creating value
Okay.
than hype.
Okay.
So we don't like to do a lot of PR.
Okay.
We don't like to do a lot of personal branding. We do it if it's necessary for the business. And at the beginning, when we started like putting the company's values, as we were just the three of us, me, Farhan, Amr, and we said, do we want to be like these founders that get 1,000 likes on LinkedIn but zero business?
Yeah.
Or do we want to be the founders that maybe no one knows, but then have a strong business? Inevitably, we found that we have to do PR because it serves the business.
I was going to say.
Yeah. So it's a mix of both, but we always do what we believe in, and what we believe in is creating value.
Yeah.
And when we started Reno, we saw a problem that we wanted to solve, and then we went for a solution. And every solution we've built, we didn't go with any preconceived notions. We went with as if I'm a kid or someone in school that's trying to solve a problem, not like an expert.
Yeah.
And for us in the company, always like the logic always wins. So this is our belief. Like we see a problem in the home renovation market. We really want to fix it. And our focus and our obsession is making clients move into their homes and actually like have their spaces like as they thought it would be. So it's more.
Yeah, and
mostly
with the numbers you now have, I think that speaks for itself. The fact that A, what you're building is a critical need, and B, that people are happy with your service.
Exactly.
What has the fundraising journey for Reno looked like so far?
I wish I can tell you it was easy. So it was really...
You're not going to pretend it was easy? Mark?
It was really tough. You would know. Like,
it's painful.
Not,
it is the most painful thing ever. It is not fun.
It is really draining. Like it kind of gets to you as a founder.
Yeah, it does.
I've heard a lot of no's, actually a lot of no's. And over time, I think initially, like any founder, we got like the people that believed in us as people. And over time, I think 500 was our first institutional investor. And that kind of enabled us to give us like the stamp. Okay, we're not just dreaming that we have a VC backable business, because we faced a lot of challenges. What are you going to do about operations? What are you going to do about this, about that? And if the investor doesn't want to invest, they will come up with a lot of reasons why not to invest. And I'm glad that we've proven all of them wrong.
Yes. That's the fun part, right?
So there was a really fun moment. I'm not going to mention names, but I was sitting in a room with an investor that turned us down 3 times. And now they're on our investor update. And then they got really excited when they saw us. And I'm like, okay, now you miss your opportunity to basically invest in Reno. And this kind of gives me some sense of satisfaction, because if you're contrarian and you prove them wrong, then you're onto something.
Yeah.
This is when we really believed that we're onto something big.
I understand where you're coming from. I think it's also so important to bring people on board that you want to work with long term. Omar and I were having this conversation this morning. You have these close misses where you realize how much somebody was a misfit for being on this journey with you. And then you thank God, you're like, oh my God, we missed a bullet. Because if they had said yes, then this is a long-term relationship.
Yes.
This is like, the divorces that happen due to renovations. This is that kind of
100%.
disruption in your life, in your business. And if you get one wrong person on board, then you're basically killing the company, even if you have money. We think capital is the biggest issue. Having a bad investor on board can kill your company faster than not having capital.
100%. We were lucky. So to date, we're lucky with all of our yeses.
Yes.
All of our investors are really supportive. They've helped us really push the company. They did introductions. Actually, one of our investors was our customer. Then he turned into an investor. And then he became our biggest
An
evangelist.
ambassador, yeah.
And then suddenly he's like sending emails, doing fundraising on our behalf.
Yeah.
So we've been lucky in that sense. But the overall, going back to your question, the macroeconomic environment with like the high interest rates, with everything that's happening.
We're building companies at the worst possible time
Exactly.
in terms of
like
the
if
economic.
we were building
yeah.
it 3 years ago, I think it would have been much easier.
Yeah. So what do you look for when it comes to, as VCs, we used to get asked this question all the time. What do you look for in a startup when you're investing? But I don't think enough founders talk about it.
Yeah.
When you are evaluating a VC that you want to take money from or would take money from, what are some things that you look for?
So
The fact that they have money, first
of
all.
course, they have money
Deployable
and
capital.
that they don't like waste our time. We've had a VC make us fill like Series A kind of paperwork.
Yes.
So
they understand the asset class.
they understand the asset class
yeah.
really, and this is kind of a challenge in the region. There is only a few VCs that have gone through the entire cycle of exits and then going through Fund 1, Fund 2, all of that. And these are like, some of these VCs are like our target VCs that we want to work with. So ideally a VC that knows the business, understands what we're doing, is in the space that we're in, is founder friendly. People say that every VC you'll speak to, they will say we're founder friendly.
Yeah.
But the reality is it's not that, right? So we want people that really bring us to places, that take us, do connections for us, help us like unlock strategic money afterwards. This is kind of what we look into. Also like VCs that would help us with the growth stages later, because just raising a seed or a pre-seed right now is a success, but the region really suffers when it comes to Series B.
Follow-on capital is still so scarce.
That's what I've heard,
it's
right?
barely available, yeah.
You have to then go to sovereign wealth funds and all of that. So you either have a VC with a strong reputation that's able to connect you to the next sources of capital, or just opens doors to you, takes you to networking events, pushes for your product, evangelizes on your behalf. So this is kind of what I see.
Yeah. I think what our experience has been in terms of founder friendliness, a lot of VCs that have people on board that either have startup experience themselves, specifically as founders themselves, have very high empathy, or have worked with a lot of founders. So
100%.
People who were ecosystem builders before, have spent some time in the ecosystem before becoming VCs, because they can then, in terms of founder friendliness, empathize
100%.
Probably the most.
And they would give you the advice. Sometimes you need like external advice, a lot of the times. And it's good to go to an investor, right?
Yeah.
And if the investor is your friend and understands the pain and the suffering that you're going through, they would give you like the best advice also. And advice can be really as valuable as the other things that I mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of growth for Reno, I know you're focused on the UAE right now.
Yeah.
How are you looking at the region as a whole? There's a bit of a gold rush happening towards Saudi, and you and I had a bit of a conversation right before we started filming about it. But what are the plans overall for you? Where do you want to take Reno?
So we would love to go to Saudi, obviously. Like when you look at the region, there's always the
Pockets
three,
of, yeah.
right? Egypt, Saudi, and the UAE, with Saudi obviously being the jewel that everyone wants to go to. But Saudi isn't easy. Like when we speak to people, it requires completely like rethinking maybe our business model. Maybe in Saudi we become more operationally involved. I've heard that the contractors in Saudi aren't the best. So having just a managed marketplace with financing, I don't know whether it would be the right solution for Saudi. And maybe when we go to Saudi, we'll have to rethink the business model a bit. And I'm not sure currently we're at a stage to do that. I think right now we have good penetration in the UAE, but we haven't even cracked 0.1% of the market share. And I believe like there is still a lot of room for us to grow and capture in the UAE market before we look into Saudi. Egypt, potentially we can go there. And given that me and Amr are both Egyptians, we have already the contractor network. We're embedded in the communities, the important communities. So we know the market quite well. It will be much easier, but we don't want to rush into expansion.
Yeah.
We'd just rather go deep into our market before we do something that we would regret. Because if you start expanding, you will have to spend 3 times the marketing budget.
Yeah.
You'll have to localize. Suddenly your costs have gone up. You have to manage different markets. You lose focus. I've heard from one other founder that was speaking to me, when it's a company based in Egypt, when they expanded to Saudi, there were 3 co-founders. Suddenly there were 2. And one of them, the third, just went to Saudi.
A lot of divorces happening, huh? Within founders. No, it does put that kind of pressure. And it's such an interesting time with this economic climate that we're building in, with the sort of hype climate also that we're building in, to answer that question, because I feel like the Saudi question is something that you get asked a lot in almost every investor conversation, just because it's so prominent right now, and people have very strong opinions about whether you should do it or not do it. And there's going to be people who are like, what do you mean you're not looking at it? And then there's going to be people who are like, no, you should, don't touch it. But the reality on ground can be so different.
Of course.
So different.
And the good thing about the market we're in, the renovation market, is if Reno just captures a very small market share, which we are able to do as an aggregator, we can become a unicorn. Like, we don't need to go elsewhere.
I was actually going to say, you said 1 million revenues that you touched, and with 100 plus cases that you've helped solve for in 1 year. That's amazing. So because the ticket price
is very high.
Very high, you can actually make a lot of money without looking at insane volumes, and still have the capacity to get to those insane volumes, just because of the way the market is structured.
And
I have a house in Pakistan that I need to renovate.
Not now, in 2 years.
No, don't touch Pakistan until there's a boom again, okay? When people have money to spend again. So kind of shifting gears a little bit, just to ask you a fun question. Has there been like a crazy renovation request that you've looked at so far? Like the craziest that you've come across, where somebody was asking for something, you're like,
not really crazy requests, but emotional clients. I won't say crazy clients.
Okay.
But more emotional clients. I think when people are doing their homes, it's something deeply emotional.
It is emotional, yeah.
It is like one of the most emotional things you're doing, and people are really invested. And you have different people reacting in different ways.
Yeah.
We've had clients, like, after we've agreed on the scope, ask for almost 50% of extra scope for no extra money. And given that we're a startup, we absorbed a lot of these costs just to ensure that the clients are happy. And we've seen this incident happen a couple or 3 times. This kind of we've seen, but also there was one customer that wasn't living here and wanted to get daily updates.
Okay.
And wanted also to get a report on the progress with the plan. And that what kind of became our daily update module in our product.
So it actually ended up changing the way you delivered service.
And it was a good push for us, because initially we were more kind of managing by exception. But now this kind of gave us the ability to manage multiple projects on daily basis, requesting contractors to submit like pictures on the app, with us giving rating on the quality of the work that we see. And then around major milestones, we just go and do an inspection, or we can do sometimes ad hoc inspections to see if things are going according to the plan or not. And he's helped us kind of shape our QC, all of the QC function in our app.
Yeah. So, Marc, I mean, the contractor segment has traditionally been very hard to automate in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I mean, even in my previous life as a VC, there were startups that we saw that were trying to automate different types of, like the marketplace idea with different types of contractors. And even then getting them to use technology and to be comfortable with it was hard.
Yeah.
So how has your experience been getting the contractors, like you said, to submit the pictures online, to follow whatever processes you've set for them with technology?
I think somehow we got very quickly to a place where we have scale and we have the power over the contractors to do what we want. And that kind of made our journey easier. Initially, we were really suffering for them to comply with any processes, anything on tech. And you have to think, like, a home renovation journey is not just the contracting bit. It's a very long journey. Starting from, okay, I like this house. I start with the concept. After the concept, you have the design. Then you do the engineering drawings. And then after you do the engineering drawings, you come up with the list of materials that you want to do. And then you run a bid and you get different contractors with different proposals that you compare. And then afterwards, you agree and you sign a contract. And then
Sounds so painful.
And then it starts, right? It's not that we're digitizing one part of the journey. We are basically digitizing the all of it, right? From the design to the financing to the payments. It's a very long journey with a lot of touch points. And at the beginning, we were like, okay, we're just gonna focus on the project management bit. But gradually, we saw the need to digitize all of the journey, starting from day one, which is the design. This is kind of what we saw. It wasn't an easy journey, right? And if you look at our product, it's a beast. It's not like buy now, pay later products where you just have the payment, the risk engine in the back end.
Yeah.
But the customer experience is super simple. We have like 8 to 10 journeys on the app that the customer has to go through. Also, the contractor has to go through it. But again, the blessing that we had was that we got to scale very quickly within 3 months. And suddenly the contractors are now coming to us for business.
Yeah. So what percent, do you think, what does adoption look like right now? So of the 140 you said that you've done, how many would have done about 50% through the automated process, or are they all completely on tech?
100%.
Oh, okay. So it is completely automated from
we
zero
don't.
to...
We don't release any payments to contractors unless they abide by the process. We've created handbooks as well as guides and a lot of things to guide the contractor through it all. We give them trainings. We handhold them at the beginning, but the entire process stays on the app, at least all of the agreements. So because in this line of business, the verbal agreements tend to create a lot of conflict.
Yeah.
And that was also part of the idea of Reno. It's an impartial platform that secures both parties' rights.
Both parties, yeah.
So it is crucial for the contractor to basically manage the entire process on the system. It's also crucial for the customer, and it is in both parties' benefits.
Yeah, and it only works when both of them are actually online, like you said. Very interesting. So what has been the most challenging part in all of this that you've had to deal with, especially I thought maybe it would be getting the contractors online, but that doesn't seem to be the case for you.
I think the most challenging part for us was it's the good and the bad, right? Because we are doing renovations over installments. That puts a lot of stress on our cash flow.
Yeah.
So I remember like month 1, we did like great. Month 2, we tripled our revenue. Month 3, we tripled our revenue again. Month 4, we don't have cash in the bank. So that was kind of very stressful. So the VCs want you to grow in like this J curve.
Yeah. Hockey stick.
A hockey stick,
Growth,
exactly.
yeah.
Like you're going up, but then you grow, but then no
You need
cash.
injections of capital.
So you always need a source of capital that supports your growth. And we've had to play around with our different products. This is kind of where my experience came into play with like the 3-month, 6-month, introduce like, again, the escrow concept.
Yeah.
So that we are able to make our cash do more for us. But it was the most stressful period. I remember November, we closed our highest. We're like, we're going to be kings. December, we gave our salaries back. So it was an interesting
This is
time.
the life of a founder. Yeah, there's one existential crisis,
Exactly.
and then the second one is right outside the door waiting for you to feel better before it comes in at you. What does your credit facility right now look like? Because you're doing Renovate Now, Pay Later.
So we don't give credit. We just do renovations over installments, and that's kind of where we're different. We don't like just fund the renovation. We actually do the renovation with the contractor, and then we do the installments over 12 months. And the way it works, we assess the client's credit worthiness. We have our tools, and we use like alternative data sources, and also an AI agent that gives me a report on the person and their ability to repay. And then we have like different limits for the customers.
Yeah.
Depending on their type, their credit, their risk scoring, we decide on that. And then we do auto collection at the end.
Yeah.
So until now, we haven't faced any issues with repayment, almost zero. And we've collected more than $3 million in payments. So we didn't face any issue with delinquencies so far.
I think on the SME side, maybe there's a way for us to also work together because, as you know, Metric works with
100%.
businesses, and a lot of them are brick and mortar businesses. There's clinics, there's gyms, and there's retail stores, restaurants, people who are looking to open their second, third, fourth space. And maybe there's a way that we can connect with Reno because we have everything else about their business. We know what the health score for their business kind of looks like. So there's something to that. Last few questions. If you could go back and change one thing about this journey, what would that be?
Very hard. I love my journey with everything that it came with. But if I had to go back and change one thing, I would try to be more courageous. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have a landing page until like 4 or 5 months into the business. We were too scared building the product in the dark, in the lab, If I had to go back in time, I would want to experiment more. I would start with experimenting before building.
Marc, I want to point out, in this podcast, a little while ago, you talked about how you shy away from like PR and hype creation, but also to the end of the podcast, you're saying the one thing that you would change is maybe start talking about this in whatever way, the product. Exactly. PR and hype creation with the product also goes hand in hand, right? So maybe there's something to... it's something you personally shy away from. Maybe. You don't enjoy.
Maybe. But for me, like I still believe like in creating value. For me, like it was as simple as creating a landing page, getting social media, testing different messages out, which we didn't want to do. And after like getting into 500 actually pushed us to do that. Yeah. I'm like, okay, this works. and that's how we got to know about like one of our largest segments, which is the Airbnb segment. And now we do everything with experimentation. We don't just go into the market. And maybe, by the way, part of this kind of personality trait comes from the fact of me being a consultant. Yeah. Where you have to analyze all of the data, make sure everything is right before you make any decision. Yeah. We always give factual, objective.
And then the entrepreneur side, which has to jump in first and figure out how you're going to survive later.
So this is the one thing I would do, honestly. Like, it would have spared me a lot of time. It would have shortcutted my journey. But other than that, I love the team. I love
Yeah.
my founders. Everything about the journey has been amazing.
Yeah. What does your dad say about your journey? Does he have
He's
any
really-
thoughts?
No, he's really proud.
Yeah.
When I first told him that I'm doing this, he's like, "Why are you doing my mistakes, son?"
Because of you. Because I saw you do it and I
He's
really,
like,
really wanted to do it.
You have your job. Why do you want to be me? I'm like,
You're a consultant at McKinsey where, that's the dream for so many people.
Exactly. But now he's very proud. I think he's very proud.
Yeah. Is he enjoying seeing
He
you
enjoys
suffer?
it. Yeah. No, not suffer. He enjoys seeing the good parts of it. And I try to protect them from the suffering.
Yeah. That makes sense. I think he knows, but he
Yeah.
also trusts you and believes that you will be able to get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Marc. It was so much fun having this conversation. Like I was saying, Marc and I have known each other for a while now. We've seen each other's journeys. We know what the real on-ground realities for our companies look like. We work together. You're actually also a customer of Metric.
Yes.
So that's also amazing. But it is just so much fun to be able to have this very open conversation with you and to just hang out with you also. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much, Mina. It was
I
a
need to
pleasure.
get Amr and Farah in
Yes.
also another day.
Another day, the three of us.
Yeah, all three of you together. Okay. Thank you so
Awesome.
much,
Thank
Marc.
you so much, Mina.